Why would an architect bury a museum underground? Most museums are now themselves. They are designed to be seen from the street, to read as a landmark, to draw you in with presence. Tadao Ando starts the design at a completely different place. A lot of the museums he designed ask the visitor to go underground before they can see anything at all. And that completely transforms the experience. I'm an architect and I want to show you how the spaces actually work and why the descent changes the way you feel inside a building. Sayamaike is one of the strongest examples of this, and the reason the museum goes underground is actually dictated by what it holds. During excavation, workers uncovered ancient water infrastructure, pipes, embankment over 1,000 years old, so the museum had to go down to meet the artifacts, rather than bringing the artifacts up.
Right now, I am entering Sayamaike Museum, located near Osaka, on the lake Sayamaike. In the past, there were happening excavation and traces of ancient Japanese engineering techniques was found there, so they decided to place a museum to showcase the elements that were found. In the first room that we see after entering the building, exhibited the huge slice of earth which was found here, alongside with a very long pipes, ancient pipes which were found during the excavation. For exhibition of this element was built a very tall and long in proportion concrete hall, and we walking around these places from the up to the lower levels. The light is a very big part of the structure of this museum. You're entering through the daylight spaces and then going underground, firstly partly getting exposed to the shadows, and then you're completely underground with the tiny thin windows of the light going through them. The circular structure that we saw on the exterior of the museum is also projected to the interior space of the museum. The water is brought to the museum space as the original relics was found under the water. And also the water is actually one of the main materials used for these architectural spaces, along with other raw materials as exposed concrete and galvanized steel over there. And water, after working with concrete, changes its surface completely, as you can see behind my back. Tadao Ando, the architect of this building, also has donated many cherry trees which were planted surrounding the museum and right now forming this beautiful park.
Inside, the spatial logic follows the same principle. Light, water, material, sequence, everything reinforces the underground. The section of this building is essentially the entire concept. 2121 design site puts 80% of the building underground for a very different reason. Located in the center of Tokyo, in one of the rare green parks, the building disappears to preserve the park, minimizing its own presence on the site.
And the majority of this exposition, 80%, is underground to not disturb the nature and the park, which we can see here, which is kind of rare for the Tokyo with all of this dense structures and dense building environment. But I think this one is very beautiful. As an architect of this building, Tadao Ando says this building was inspired by the piece of cloth art piece. So this building kind of formed by its roof, and the roof made out of continuous metal sheet which kind of wraps around and angles to create this form of the kind of traditional typology of museum in the park, the museum which doesn't really interact with the surrounding and just stays there in the park as a beautiful sculpture. The concrete work is really impressive here. It's very shiny and reflective. You can see how the light, even though it's not kind of dark right now outside, you can see how the light is bouncing around in the space, and there is traces of the formwork everywhere, but it's really beautiful. After entering this building, we're moving towards a triangular-shaped corner, a pointy one, and all the geometry kind of creates this dynamic of something great is going to happen when we're actually going to enter exhibition downstairs. Now we are in the second building of the composition of this 21 by 21 design site, and this one I think open to everyone, open to public, and just on the ground floor. And here is a very interesting window which located kind of low and exposing the garden outside, so we can see all of the plants, and I think it's very unusual for someone to see the window in such location.
The roof is dominant, a single folded steel sheet, very present. But that's all you see from outside. Everything else goes underground. The building preserves the park, and I think that's why it works so well in this location. At Asahi Beer Garden Museum, Ando is working with a completely different condition. An existing historic estate, a Tudor house, mature gardens. The question is how to add contemporary architecture while keeping and highlighting what's already there.
The Asahi Garden Museum is the museum which consists of two parts, modern and the older one. The older one was a house of the wealthy Japanese entrepreneur and businessman, and the modern part is designed by Tadao Ando and hosts additional galleries. For instance, behind my back you can see one of the pathway to one of the exhibition halls, which holds Monet and other European arts in there. This is the circular hall covered with plants, and the entrance is a very tall, long corridor with a staircase surrounded by the glass, exposing the surrounding gardens to us and providing light to this pathway. The first part of the addition that Tadao Ando designed is called Underground Jewelry Box, and it is right here. Its main material is concrete with a lot of glass and metal frames, and I think it has a great contrast with existing architecture and with existing nature around us and highlighting it in a very nice way. The original house was designed and belonged to Shotaro Kaga, the Japanese wealthy entrepreneur and businessman. He spent some time in England where he was inspired by Tudor architecture, so he decided to have a house for himself in this style. The second addition that Tadao Ando provided, called Dream Box, which located here and visible from the terrace. And because it is visible from the terrace of the original building, Tadao Ando decided to add more greenery to the roof to blend it better with the surrounding garden, but we still can see the concrete walls and the overall volume of the pavilion. The rehabilitation of the building where the businessman used to live in creating the museum with galleries there, done with materials and architecture which are drastically and dramatically different from existing architecture. And I think it's highlighting greatly the value of the existing nature, existing landscape, but with creating the contrast between new and old.
In historic preservation, the default is usually to blend in. Here, Tadao Ando does the opposite. The contrast is deliberate and prominent, and it works precisely because of that. It highlights and becomes harmonious with what's already there. 3 museums, 3 completely different conditions, ancient infrastructure that couldn't be moved, a rare green park in the central Tokyo, a historic estate with its own identity. In each case, going underground was the most honest response to what the site required. That's what I found most interesting about Tadao Ando's architecture. The idea is always simple and clear, and the building follows it completely.